Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big topics using the source material. Okay, let's just dive right in. We're talking about a global race that pretty much everyone thought they understood, right up until a single event came along and turned the whole thing on its head. For years, if you asked who was winning in AI, the answer seemed obvious, right? Silicon Valley. They were setting the pace, building bigger, more expensive, and more powerful AI. But then, something happened in China that completely, and I mean completely, shook up the entire world of artificial intelligence. And it all happened practically overnight.
So, back in January of 2025, a Chinese company called DeepSeek released a new AI model, and it sent absolute shockwaves through the global markets. The reaction was just staggering. We're not talking about a simple tech headline here. This was more like a geopolitical earthquake.
And this number? This was at the heart of the whole tremor. This is what DeepSeek claimed it cost them to train their new model. Now, just to put that into perspective, that is a tiny, almost unbelievable fraction of the billions, with a B, that its rivals in the West were spending to get similar results. So, all of a sudden, a tool that was supposed to cost a fortune to build was just out there for free. This DeepSeek shock, as people started calling it, left everyone asking one huge question. How on earth did this happen? Well, to get that, we need to rewind a little bit and look at two very different game plans.
Because it turns out, the US and China weren't actually running the same race at all. You could say they were on completely different tracks, with totally different finish lines in mind.
On one side, you have the US, led by Silicon Valley, chasing the holy grail, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. You know, the big sci-fi dream of a machine that can outthink humans, solve climate change, cure cancer, the whole shebang. But China, their government was pushing the tech industry to be strongly oriented toward applications, building practical, low-cost tools that could be used right now to make the economy more efficient.
And this wasn't just some fringe idea. You had people like the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, basically sounding the alarm, warning that America's laser focus on this distant, almost mythical goal could be a massive strategic mistake.
So China's super practical approach, which, was partly driven by US sanctions on high-end chips that made it harder to compete on pure horsepower, well, it led them to embrace a collaborative strategy that completely flipped the game on its head.
They went all in on open source AI. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, instead of locking their technology up in a corporate vault, they just gave it away. They made it free for the entire world to see, to use, and most importantly, to build upon.
And this approach, it has some huge advantages. The community part is the real magic. I mean, think about it. When thousands of brilliant developers from all over the world can look at and improve the code, innovation just happens at a speed no single company can possibly match. It builds trust, and it makes powerful tech accessible to everyone for free. And this strategy led to a total explosion of powerful new models. You had giants like Alibaba, top universities like Tsinghua, and of course, startups like DeepSeek, all releasing their work. It created this massive ecosystem of free, world-class AI tools that anyone, anywhere could start using.
And this strategic shift, it didn't go unnoticed. A new kind of sentiment started spreading through the global developer community, and you could see it captured in comments just like this one from Reddit, contrasting the whole open source idea with the more profit-driven, closed-off model of the West.
So what can these new, free, open source tools actually do? Well, they're powering a completely new generation of technology called AI agents that can automate some incredibly complex tasks. And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about simple question and answer bots. On a practical level, these are autonomous systems. They're like digital workers that can understand a goal, create a plan, and then actually execute that plan from start to finish. Okay, check this out. There's a Chinese development platform called Coda. It has a feature they call Quest Mode. You can give it a simple instruction, like build a landing page for my new community, and the AI agent will map out the whole project, write all the code, and then deploy a working version for you to test. And it does all of this in minutes. For free. It's wild.
And this real-world impact goes way beyond just developers. In China's new dream city of Xiong'an, AI is being used for pretty much everything. We're talking about advising farmers on what crops to plant, helping police respond to emergencies, even making weather forecasts more accurate.
The potential applications are already starting to transform entire industries. Things that used to require a whole team of experts, like building marketing automation pipelines or doing complex data analysis, can now be done by a single AI agent. This gives basically any business access to enterprise-level automation without the crippling price tag.
So ultimately, this isn't just about a few new apps or some clever business strategy. This represents a fundamental shift in the entire AI landscape, and it has huge global implications.
The DeepSeek shock really was a wake-up call. It's pushed countries all around the world to start pouring massive amounts of money into securing their own AI future because they've realized they just can't afford to be left behind or dependent on another country's tech.
And the numbers we're seeing are just staggering. The US launched its $500 billion Stargate project, but it's a global thing now. You're seeing similar massive investments being made in places like South Korea and France. The race for AI sovereignty is officially on.
What's really fascinating is that even Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, the company at the absolute center of the AI hardware boom, he acknowledges the power of this new open source wave. He doesn't see it as a threat. He calls it a catalyst that opens the door for everyone to get in on the action.
So, why does this matter to you, to us? Because it means that this powerful AI technology is no longer locked away behind the walls of a few giant corporations. It's quickly becoming a utility, kind of like electricity or the internet, a fundamental tool that's becoming accessible to everybody.
And this all leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought. For years, the finish line seemed to be this one all-powerful, godlike AGI. But maybe, just maybe, the real race was about something else entirely. It's a question that is absolutely going to define the future of technology and our world for years to come.